Welcome back to your Pick a Card. We are about to get started with Group 1, 2, and 3. The orbs will show you your selection. Is the grass greener on the other side? Were the intentions set for this particular situation that may involve multiple choices, or at least two? You have the upside down world orb, the portal, as well as the electric gold. I'll give you a moment, but if you need more time, feel free to pause the video to make your choices, and we'll go ahead and get started with Group 1. Group 1. Let's see what we have here. And I'm also going to shuffle out a few additional cards for you, which may be tarot or oracle cards. You have the Four of Wands, the Six of Wands, wow, and the Five of Wands. This situation requires energy and concentration. Each of them has the lantern, or the chandler, the candle holder. The Four of Wands could typically speak of an event, making arrangements, or the arrangements, like how something is laid out, the plan. The Six of Wands may talk about appreciation, attention, reward. There could be a situation where one or more people are involved, and I feel that arrangements, placements, planning, like a project management sort of situation, or how something is going to go, may have been in the environment. With the Five of Wands, it's a competitive energy. So there could be people in the environment where credit is a factor. So like who does something versus who gets the credit for it, or someone doing something solely because they love it versus looking for the return. Now, I'd say even if you find something that you love, depending on the market or the area this is unfolding in your life, there could be a need to be competitive. It may be a competitive market where doing the research and meeting the collective standard or some sort of standard could be in the environment. And now that I've said standard out loud like 2 or 3 times, if it's a relationship or something like that, standards may be involved. Like, to what degree are things done if they meet that particular standard? And maybe that's what someone gets chosen for. If someone's making a selection, it could be based on their standards, point blank. Now I'll shuffle out a few cards for you to get clarity on the Four of Wands. You have the Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Swords. I don't know why it's giving justice, but we have 2 women here. He's with one, and then we have the wife or an ex-wife. We have how he's looking this way toward marriage, or the standard of whomever makes these arrangements or does the decorating or the details. The Empress is a master at that. Not gonna hold you. However, some people may have failed in the past. So if this is a lover with these standards looking to make a choice, and if you're caught up in a situation like this, this person may have a hard time sticking to the choices that are made. So if the grass is greener on the other side, for you, it appears that way. And for this particular person, I think not. Because this particular queen has the roses, the flowers, and all that we think the Empress embodies. But because of the sword, the intimidation, the approach, the fact that she could be a widow or divorced, I feel that someone's intentions or the standards that have been set could be superficial. Okay? So, we'll take one oracle card for you guys. And see, there's some Eight of Swords. There's like a mental trap. Yep, based on the past experience. So, someone may be looking for a person or the character in this situation that may be most favorable, even if this is applying for a job or how you handle, DIY projects at home, to your hobbies and projects. Even how someone could see you as a mother. You know what I mean? Oh, and now that I speak of mothers, the Five of Wands could talk about like frivolous confrontation between children. Yeah. And someone who has behavioral issues or attention deficit that does things out seeking attention. There could have been arrangements made, or like this is like where the nanny comes to the home on those sitcoms or whatever to whip them into shape. And I noticed that the Six of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune are in the same position. So attention being the challenge in the situation, same thing as fate. Someone's fortune is on the line. The Six of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. Damn, this is just like getting deep. The Six of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune also talks about fame. And if fame is involved, how someone comes across may be important because their delivery is different. And she looks more abundant on the outside. But, I mean, the Empress in the major arcanas is known for through and through being that. Now, if I were to say, like, what do they have in common? I know a shadowy Empress has high expectations, may be a little bit bratty, negligent when it comes to, overpromising or being kind of selfish. And I don't feel the Queen of Swords has that energy. But if she's bitter and cold and in that mood, it's only a matter of time before this thing changes. Where something that seemed like the grass was greener on the other side may not have been because of outward appearances. Okay. Now your oracle card. That took some turns. I like that though, group one. Thank you guys for stepping in today to my office. Spirit, can I get one oracle card for group one? Okay. I got two. That's cool. You have the number 34, which is a 7. Silvered streams focus. Now, streams could talk about emotions and also income. Clear is my desire. Skilled is my path. I advance with deliberate focus. So as we talked about attention and deficit, planning, make a plan. I had a lady ask me that once, and I didn't take her serious because in my mind, she was 15 to 20 years older than me. She had a son my age that was courting me at the time. We were friends. And he was like, oh, look, he was like, you remind me of my mom, and I think she would love you. You should meet her. Because we weren't serious or anything. We were just cool. I was new in town, and I moved to Atlanta from Texas long ago. And he was just like, y'all the same with those crystals and stuff, and always trying to help people and giving advice, and just basically he thought we were weirdos, and he was like, she's gonna love you. And I was like, cool. And he was right. When I met her, I was like, yes, it was like the mom I didn't know I needed, because she was more like me than my mom. So I was like, he is correct. Like, we both loved hot water cornbread. Like, who in this day and age loves or even makes or even knows what hot water cornbread is? And we used to go to like little metaphysical shops together, buying crystals. And she was, a person that had this little home office and got this little nonprofit thing going on, and could have been like a future me, but I like money. So I took a different approach to my projects and career. However, how that situation transformed, because I don't want to say ended, she came off as like, yeah, I got where we were similar, but the ways in which we were different was just something that really had me step away from not only her, but her son too. The more I got to know him, he was codependent on an ex-girlfriend. And then the mom was allowing that behavior because he lived with her. So the ex-girlfriend was pretty much financially supporting all of them if she supported him, and he stayed with his mama. I thought that was kind of tacky. At the time, my oldest son was maybe 3 or 4, and I would never be that kind of mom. I thought it was irresponsible, and it went against the principles of, being an alchemist or a spiritual person, or just this high vibrational, being that wasn't in the world and had like morals or standards. I was like, where that's at? Where did that go? It just like, it went out of the window when it came to, getting something she needed, which I thought was a little bit manipulative. And then playing the field, like, oh, this is my daughter, me. But doing the same thing probably when this supportive ex was coming around, because I think they had a child together, and I get that. I do understand that, which is why I separated myself from the situation, because I was like, that's a family situation. And I'm just this new person that is fun to be around. So, long story short, that is insane. Okay, so there's that, where some of you could find that you could become aware of some sort of competition at an event. Or some of you, see what I'm saying? Like, it's different for all of you, because an event and a competition and someone winning could be sports with the 5 of Wands, okay? And you trying to be all soccer mom or whatever, and it's going to take some stern, dominant energy, but not overbearing and masculine, just strong, nurturing, strong, supportive, a listener, instead of doing it for them and coddling them, allowing them to do it themselves. So that's like a coach, or even a parent that, wants to fix everything and wants everybody to have everything, because I'm like that too. But then you slowly realize, either through becoming a parent or just life in general, some of the strongest people were those that either, I don't want to say were neglected and abandoned, but they didn't have everything handed to them. And sometimes that creates a better person inside. But on the flip side, it doesn't, because some people that didn't have everything handed to them become bitter and cold and closed off and hyper independent. So I hope that helps. But if you would like further clarification, or you feel pulled to this in a personal way, I am offering one free question or card pull for the month of July to all of you that comment, like, share any post, any video, or live stream for the month of July. So send me a screenshot, ask your question. It doesn't have to be about the video you watched. It could just be your own personal question, or curiosity into tarot. Okay. Now your second card is Sunlit Oasis. The first thing that came to mind are these little antlers. We are approaching a buck moon on the 21st of July. You have the number 13, that's a 4, the number of the Emperor. So one has like the number of the magician, who may be focused on himself or opportunity. And then we have the number 4 for the Emperor, that shows resilience. In every challenge, I seek and find my oasis of calm, drawing strength from life's hidden treasures. Okay? So that is what we have for you, Group 1. I really enjoyed that. I hope you did as well. And we will move to Group 2. Group 2, you have the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Coins, and the Four of Cups. All right. So now be patient with the interpretation, as it is not a personal reading. It is general and could affect you guys in different ways. I'll extend the offer to you, as I said in Group 1. If the video does resonate with you, I am offering a free question and answer or card pull for your like, share, comment, and support. It doesn't have to be the specific video that you watched that you get the card pull or question answered for. It could be anything pertaining to your personal life or just a curiosity in tarot if you never had a reading. You can email me, check the community board, or look in the description box for those details, and we'll get started with your interpretation. We're also going to pull an oracle card, and I'm taking clarifiers with tarot. Now, the Knight of Wands is very diligent when it comes to the passion and the drive to get wherever he's going. And I love that he has the 3 wands in his hand with his ace. Okay? So after this, there's something in this story that could be around the realm of initial attraction or excitement. And then what happens as we approach that or have to make a decision? Because the 3 of Wands is usually about finally making a decision, and sometimes it's turning back or away, or just no longer waiting on those ships to come in from the 2 of Wands. So there's adamancy, there's persistence. Like I said, there's drive, there's fire, there's passion, and ultimately a decision being made, an initial spark. Now, kind of like Group 1, for this situation, for some of you, it could involve finances and or romance. Doesn't have to, just said it could. Or behavior, right? That could manifest itself in any aspect of life. The second card, facing the same direction as the Knight of Wands, tells me that this relationship, ambition, behavior could represent something physical, an item, money, the value of it, things that are important to you, like your responsibilities. And I know she's very supportive and sometimes takes care of others. So if this is a partnership, or if it involves others, that could be in the mix, because I'm noticing she has 2 pentacles on the ground and her ace in hand. The 3 of Pentacles could talk about a collaboration, and in traditional tarot, there is a man and a woman in that picture, and she is usually holding the bottom aspect of it, and he has his hand gripped over the top, which to me means like that he gets the credit or he gets the bigger piece, even though she's the foundation. So if this strikes a nerve and sounds like a behavior of a person or yourself in the environment, the 4 of Cups says that it may be an offer that you don't want, or if this behavior is identified, like whatever is being offered in this Ace of Pentacles is being rejected, or is exactly why this turning away and making another decision in the 3 of Wands even happened. Okay, so just be mindful of opportunists and or opportunities that may involve, what's that word? Compromise. The Knight of Wands would definitely refuse to compromise once they've set their sights on something. The Queen of Coins, however, I feel would. So if you're trying to get someone to compromise that isn't making that easy for you, there may come to a moment when those two cups that talks about harmony and balance is now like it's a struggle for one person to have that, and then the other person isn't present at all when it comes to the work in that area. Somebody's carrying it all on their back, and then it's like the other person had the audacity to even make it hard for me to do that. I'm carrying it all on my back, and you make it hard for me to do that. The Queen of Coins could say that to someone because she often represents like someone that has to, that's really independent and maybe doing things on her own, whether that's a single parent, an administrator. It's just like the secretary in the office. Everybody else got these big degrees and these huge paychecks, but she probably knows that office better than anyone and may make less pay, longer hours, less benefits. And for a parent, this could be a young adult. So we're not talking about babies here. And, people always say, how teenagers can be. And it's like, nah, not really, because my kids are just now approaching that age. But I can resonate with how I was as a teenager and just like try to be flexible there, right? So if you're dealing with a young adult or children, this is like a lack of gratitude or like someone who's ungrateful, right? If that's in the situation, these clarifiers could help as we see if the grass is greener or not, because she's in some green grass. And I think for you, which just crossed my mind, so this may be like a solid answer. This is green grass, this is dim. And so before I get lost in the sauce, I was going to say she is very grounded. Usually the pentacle suits, okay? And the Queen of Pentacles is mature, responsible, practical, and uses her common sense. Now, if common sense is missing in this situation because we're driven by our desires and our passions, it's like you could miss something and not see it and then get there and you don't even want it. Because common sense and, practicality and responsibility and all of that stuff got thrown out of the window for something else in this situation that was driving us. And as you can see, I think it's more of him than the environment or the other person, because he came in with this gray area. This is fertile, green, clear. There's clarity, right? But the environment changed, and now it's like a blend of both. So that will be interesting as hell. You meet somebody, the grass green, and you get there and ruin them. Not you, but like in the situation. Just hear me out. Don't get offended. Just as a reader, that's what I'm like seeing. Like it ain't them, it's you, which is usually how the Knight of Wands gets depicted. Now, I like the passionate, driven person that has their mind made and has whatever energy is needed to get there, because I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a parent, I've been a partner in, I guess, what do they call it? A common law marriage. And just energy isn't always there. You don't wake up all the time in a life of work, family, self, life, sales, marketing, economics, spirituality, homeschooling. I'm a nitpicking cleaner, so that takes hours out of a day. You don't always have the energy. So I appreciate the Knight of Wands being driven and passionate through and through. He don't get tired. I love that. But I also know it's closely related to the dark nights of the soul, non-committal energy at times, even though he's very attractive and charming and oh my God, will rock your socks. They there for a good time, not a long time. I Sagittarian energy, and since my Sagittarius is a South Node, I think I could say that this is where the magic lies, your gifts and your abilities. However, it could also be where karmic energy is. So pace yourself. And like I said, use common sense to be practical, because the Four of Cups just talks about more than enough. Okay? Now, off of my Knight of Wands, because I was going to start singing Taylor Swift, Trouble. That's what the Knight of Wands reminded me of when I first started doing tarot. And then I grew to understand the actual benefits. So I'm like 50-50 with him. The Queen of Pentacles has to balance her work life, family, and all that. Now, if she want to have a little fun in the sun, okay, which she might deserve to do, she could feel like she's neglecting or abandoning another aspect, which could mean I'm no longer juggling and I'm focused on this one thing, but what's happening with these other two? So when she appears as advice to us, it's reminding us to balance all things, not just be driven by passion, but some other stuff, right? So let's get to the other stuff, all right? For the Knight of Coins, you have the King of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. This is about business. For some of you, it's about money. Now, if it's about a behavior, she is supportive. She's the administrator. She's holding it down. This is the same thing that the King of Cups does in business before he understands his worth. And here's the Ace of Pentacles, his worth or value. How much is something worth and how valuable is it? So if you're asking yourself a question about the grass being greener on the other side, how much is it worth and what are your core beliefs and values? I think that integrity and diplomacy is, for some reason, important. I have the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck, so it may point to your intuition. Some others of you, it's be grounded and stay content with the emotions, to be emotionally content, because this additional cup that comes into the Four of Cups for some, it's like, you know what I'm saying? I had the Ace of Cups, yay! I had the Two of Cups, yes! The Three of Cups, that party, yes! And then there may come a phase in life where things could slow down because he likes his fast-paced, high, value, profile, pizzazz. Or could be in need of it. Feel free to interchange, because if you ain't had a bunch of that and you want some of that, it's like you think that, but once you get out there, you go outside if you want to. It may not be what you want, especially if you're considering marriage. And this person could have abandonment issues or may even reject you. And it's like, how would that unravel the work that you've done? Okay, we have hyper independent, so I knew her doing it all was a factor in this situation. And it also could be a separation of some sort in a family matter, because like the Nine of Pentacles plus the Ace would be Ten of Pentacles. Usually the Page of Pentacles is the cornerstone. If our little cornerstone or divine child is growing up and appearing as the Queen of Coins, facing the left, it does talk about the past and offering something to it. So it's like, what am I offering in this situation? And some of you is the passion, the drive, the ambition. Or for others of you, it's pulling up with shadowy energy that we haven't even worked out. And that's what contaminates what once could have been green. It's just as gray as the place you left. So that's where it's like, it's not them, it's you type deal. And not you, but whoever these cards are reading, right? Let's get a clarifier for the Four of Cups. Some of you could be manifesting. Okay, spirits like that. That was the one. Okay. I'm noticing the similarities in the colors too. Where you have the water, still. You have the air, in motion. You have a cup and a staff. And here you have the pentacle and a rose. So it's giving me like cup, pentacle, wand, pentacle. I feel that this has a lot to do for somebody with increase in business. And if the grass is going to be greener on the other side for you, it's yes. The reason why I say that is because this gold bowl here that Miss Ma'am got all these grapes in, when I learned tarot through the esoteric fashion, the Four of Cups points to having more than enough. So for some of you, your integrity, your diplomacy, this drive, the energy, the creativity, what's pumping through your blood, and whatever knowledge you have about finances and the capacity to be mature and responsible in that area is going to award you with something over and over and over again where you will have more than enough. And that's a good thing. But it's going to come with work. Your wish fulfillment is going to take work. For some of you, that's physical labor. For some of you, that's moving. For others of you, it may be hard for you to do this if you consume a lot of alcohol. I don't know what that's about. So just be mindful if you're dealing with a relationship. I have had that too. I met this guy and he looked like Cuban Gooding Jr. Just cute, hazel-eyed, 6'4", slim. Yes, it was perfect. And then the more I got to know him, it came to my attention he was dealing with alcoholism. And over time, I couldn't understand why his friends and stuff would look at me like, why are you hanging with this nigga? Oh, excuse me. Why are you hanging with this guy? And I didn't understand why they took that approach, but it was like they knew him and I didn't. And so I met him like this, sort of, you know. And then that is exactly who he was. And everybody else was not shocked when that part of him came out. And when I wondered why they weren't shocked, it was because they were all whispering, you know, about how he pulled, you know, this rabbit out the hat to have me as a friend in the first place. So is the grass green on the other side? Absolutely not, because it's a facade. And if you're running from one situation to the other, life will hand you a trick, you know, just for your codependent nature. If someone is running from relationship to relationship or has ulterior motives in a situation, the grass is going to appear to be greener to get you out of a situation for the better, like a catalyst, or you'll know that it got you out of that situation, but the situation it got you into wasn't just like, you know what I mean? So there's that. But the finance or business decision I like. If people are involved in your situation and it's about relationships, I don't know. Okay? Unless this Knight of Wands just really loves that you got it going on. And why is he so concerned? Like taking an opportunity. So you have in your oracle card the number 1. It doesn't help that that's the number of the magician, which, like I said, is great for business and finances. But in relationships, it's like trick or treat. I awaken with the promise of a fresh start. You do have an ace. Well, yeah, I was going to say 2 aces because that's a big cup. Okay. It may even talk about change because the 2 of Pentacles is change. This looks like the same bowl. So it used to be a cup, now it's a bowl. And is the grass green on the other side? Yes. So making a few changes in a business could be very productive and a good idea. If you're scared, don't be. So anyway, I awaken with promise of a fresh start, cherishing the delicate wonders that dawn brings to my journey. So the sun coming out, this may also represent energy or a bright idea, okay, or something like that. That is what I have. And we will move to group 3. All right, group 3, let's see what you got. Okay, wait, did I do it wrong? Okay, I think I rubbed them out wrong. That didn't sound right. I rubbed them out wrong. That is crazy. Hey, group 3, hey. So I'll give you the same spiel for group 1 and 2 and invite you and offer you a free card pull or a question and answer through the month of July, totally at 0 charge. I'd like to spend time with you guys and get to know you and allow you to get to know me because our collective is growing and changing. It doesn't have to be a question about the video that you watched. It could be a personal matter or just an interest into tarot if you've never had a reading. You can find my contact information or Etsy store. Send me a message there in the description box or the About tab here on YouTube. And we'll go ahead and get started. You guys have some pretty auspicious cards. I would just go ahead right now and say, yeah, grass definitely gonna be greener. Okay, but let's unpack it. Here I have the Empress. Yes, the Empress could talk about a mother, a wife, abundance. It also talks about the feminine energy, divine feminine energy, and just a perspective of no lack, like not lacking in anything, and just being super fertile, like giving birth to something. It could be a child, a union. It may just be a connection between you and Source and what's about to happen in your near future, because she has the world as her belly in some cards, the Empress and the High Priestess. And the Two of Wands, she has the world in her palm. So for some of you guys, the solar plexus, working on your breathing and doing like this alchemical stuff could help heighten whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. And I do feel that you are what we're talking about as far as like, will the grass be greener on the other side? It's kind of like asking, is the future bright for me? I think with group 1 and 2, I could feel that there could have been like specific questions, people, and decisions to be made that involved other people. But for you, group 3, I feel that it's a personal path to your abundance. And perseverance is important because these little sparkles of fire that I see in the water, they remind me of when I see the Hierophant in the Nine of Wands, right? He's on fire, or the lantern it's like breadcrumbs, where on your journey, it just requires you to be persistent. You know what I'm saying? And she's working on finishing a decoration, okay? Or some sort of garment. So I feel like for you, group 3, if you are working on a project, a product, yourself, keep going and finish it. I think that someone will be willing to buy what it is you're selling. And the grass is very green. So, and that's crazy. I wonder if, I know group 2 has some grass. I can't even remember now, damn it. But your grass is green, honey. And you got some fire. You got fire and you have tools. So the number 1 connected to the Magician and the High Priestess done gave him some direction and some game, moves to the Empress that is now using those things and have created and generated more than enough for herself and the people in her environment. If a child, a son, or a marriage is involved, it just says to be super confident and see the world as your oyster. Your ships are coming in, and it's like, well, what ship is coming in for me? It's the Sun card. It's like your most auspicious thing. So it's like, if you wanted to be famous, if you wanted to be rich, if you wanted to be married, if you wanted to be in love, if you wanted to have a baby, if you wanted to be just happy, if you wanted to meet God or connect to Source, whatever the case may be, if you wanted to be happier in this life, because the Empress does represent the earth and the sun shines on it, child, and that's worth being happy about, because every day is a new day. And then you wake up and see that day as the world in your palm, right? Kind of like Scarface. I know it was just a movie, but I think, wasn't it like based on a true story? It doesn't have to be. Spirit say no. It could have been, man, in the 80s, all of the Latinos and Italians and Jews, was coming over here, kicking it up with the Haitians and the Americans and Africans in Chicago and Miami. And it was just high speed. Y'all know. I mean, some of y'all know. Because, you can look at the movies and the music from the 70s and 80s. Honey, they was partying. And everybody was in Versace and probably was at Versace house at the party. So anyways, my point is, I think what made some of those characters lucky in those movies was just I don't want to call them narcissists or arrogant, but it could be necessary to be delusional like that for a while until it's like fake it till you make it or get to where you're trying to be. I think their confidence and seeing things their way manifested more and more of that. And then once you start slipping, becoming conscious, because I'm a conscious person, so I can say this. Once you become conscious and start questioning every step and suspicious because of what you're doing, and you shouldn't have done nothing that's going to go against the grain for you. So it's in the back of your mind. And I think personally that karma is self-inflicted. So when you do meet karma, it's because it was in the back of your own mind the whole time, questioning why you did something, or, ooh, I shouldn't have done that. But if you see the world as your oyster and never in a million years have the slightest doubt that you'll be okay, keeping your vibration high, and like I said, maybe that solar plexus sacral chakra is in, I just saw something else, is at play. I just noticed that at a far distance, the sun is coming up. Okay, so it's like sunrise. And then wherever she is, she sees it too. Oh my God, that is super sweet. Now, somebody could be looking for that kind of partner. And see how I just flipped it? Because I got to get these messages out or I forget. When Spirit put them in my brain, I got to say it. And so I got to shut my trap for whatever I was talking about or I forget. Now, if this is a relationship or trying to manifest something coming in on the ship, child, I think this is decent. This person, if you want like a husband or a partner that may have a great relationship with family, that respects women, where'd that come from? Still, my point. The sun rising in the sun card and then being, you know what I'm saying? It was like later in the day by the time this girl in the Two of Wands saw it. Somebody may be at a distance. This is a union or a marriage that could be coming in, that could be at a distance. And I think they're decent. And they might be looking for a wife. Because there's some sort of connection to what the Empress offers and the approach of whatever this ship is, what's on this ship. But for some of you, it could be a shipment. And like I said, some sort of product. So keep going with it because she made it. It looks damn good. It's different. If you're wondering how to do something, do it unique and of your own, or do a lot of it. Don't do like bikini swimsuits because that's not a lot of material. Maybe some of you have or may need a lot of material. And you may not have it. And the Two of Wands is reminding you to continue to see the world as your oyster. Because your finished product is not really far away, so keep going or whatever. So let's take some clarifiers. For the Empress. Sorry, Spirit, because it's for what? Just shuffling my cards. Okay. We got the Seven of Pentacles and we have the Queen of Pentacles for the Empress. So this talks about seeds. This talks about fertility. This talks about seasons. This talks about responsibility. Both of them have the mountains behind them. Each of these, for you, oh my God, it's like a puzzle. I hope y'all guys pick up on it, however it connects and resonates with you. But the Sun and the Two of Wands share this thing in the background, which is kind of like the ship, right? And then these two cards share the mountains, where she has the sun rising and he has the sun setting. So there's something about sunrise and sunset. Ciao. And then you have the Ten of Wands, which talks about travel, possibly transportation. It also talks about labor and work. But see, the fruits of your labor, your efforts will be rewarded. Past efforts will be rewarded. These leaves were fresh when he picked them. And then by the time it gets here, it's a new season. That's kind of cool. And then he picked these and he picked these and everybody came together to make this. And she is as magnificent as the Sun card. This is kind of crazy. So I don't know if you're a designer. You're probably not. I don't know. But it reminds me of Beyonce wore this neon suspenders not too long ago. I know it's been within the last month. and I don't know none of these people, so this isn't sponsored, but there's this company, and I guess I'll say their name, they deserve it. It's Neon Cowboys on Instagram, and I think it's a girl or a young lady or however people like to be identified. It's a person. And I'm sure she may have teammates, so because it's called Neon Cowboys, and I don't want to say it's just one person. Long story short, I have been following her for some time, and I haven't ever seen her do celebrity work or go viral or none of that. But she's consistent. She's one of a kind and amazing, right? I just made that clarification because when I saw her post that Beyonce wore her neon glowing suspenders on her country music tour, that was fucking almost impossibly insane. It's just like one of your cousins start making t-shirts and then Taylor Swift wear it to a football game. It's like, what? So I kind of got that vibe just a little bit, and I got excited where it's like the seeds come from one place, they grow, they get collected, and then somehow you cash out and put it all together, and or someone else likes what it is that you have to offer, and this union of some sort provides, and those ships are closed. So if you've experienced that where you've done a lot of work and you're waiting on, if you're having like this what the fuck moment because you planted the seeds, you did the work, now what? It's kind of just like, you know, being rest assured, being mature, being balanced, being practical. It's just like all of those normal things, because a lot of people that may subscribe to tarot and pick a cards or spirituality, we are some of the most creative, like mystical, magical, fantasy, delusional, out of this world people. Tell the truth, like, let's be honest. But this is more of a common sense, normal approach to something. So even if it's a holistic based business, even if it's manifesting a marriage, whatever the case may be, this is good. Everything requires work. Somebody told me that. I was getting out of business school at the time. I hadn't even gone to law school. And I have some Thelemite friends in Texas at the, I think, Bubastis OTO, if that's what it's called. Shout out to them. And practical life can be hard for many reasons for some people. It's because something else is pulling on your soul and you want to do it, or because you're dealing with energetic, neurological, mental, or physical, ailments that just make it hard. I couldn't really focus in fast-paced society. Even though I was good at it, it kicked my ass in ways it didn't seem to be kicking everybody else's ass, and I could be honest about that. So I thought just hoping, wishing, dreaming, or manifesting, I didn't even know what manifesting truly was going to be easier, or I'm just going to come over here and chill with y'all because it seemed like y'all get to relax or whatever. And this man said, you know that this takes work too. And I never forgot that. Like, don't come over to mysticism, spirituality, or something that may seem less practical, because it is also going to take time and it is also going to take work. And that could be the lesson that somebody has to learn. And that is perfect. Like, hell no, the grass ain't green on the other side. And yes, it is, but you got to do the work. And you got to put in the time. And you got to be like chosen. You got to be picked. Oh, shit. My chosen ones. Then I say somebody do the seeds and somebody gather it. And she picked the best one. And then for all of you that could be into like holistic products, you can't just be mixing and mastering herbs and oils and then bottle them up and ship them off. They do take time. You do have to plant the seeds usually. Or if you buying it from stores, they have to sit. Those intentions have to be set, and they have to sit like for a day, 28 days, 19 days, a full moon. There's different instructions. And see, she knows that. She works with the herbs and she works with the earth, and she could probably profit from it. Because I'm like, there is no coincidence that these leaves are ripe when they're picked, But by the time that she, gets them or celebrates them, they seem a little worn. You know what I mean? And she had to wait some time. So it's like you guys may be manifesting or walking into something you've waited a long time for. Okay. So anyway, okay, that was exciting. Oh my God, I love this whole like pick a card. That's crazy. I'm just gonna become the pick a card queen, child. You guys are so much fun. The full readings, the general messages are super dope, but it just like takes a lot of my energy and brain power. With you guys, I don't know. When it's broken up like this, I just get it. So I don't know. For your oracle card, Spirit, let's get an oracle card for group 3. All right. You play a lot. Like, oh my God, one group got 2 cards, one group got 1 card, and guess how many y'all got? You guessed it. Okay. And I'm going to take all of them because the Empress and the Sun, they're abundant. And I want y'all to see this world as y'all's oyster. So you have the number 4, Dreamwood Falls and Guidance. Super dope. Guided by the wisdom within, I trust my intuition to lead me on the path of enlightenment and peace. More green grass. Okay. You have the number 20, Golden Pond, Prosperity. And notice that group 3, you guys selected the little golden ball. And I didn't want now I can say it since we're at the end of the video. I didn't want everybody to just pick group 3 because it was closest to the green grass. I promise you, I had posted the thumbnail to this video before I even noticed that that's what happened. But I don't think initially people noticed. I hope not, because it's like that's that superficial shit. And I don't think there's anything superficial about group 3. So anyways, and maybe that's why these pentacles and, her background, all right, she got a background in agriculture for some of you, or this estate, this property, time. Okay, I don't know. Now it's just all over the place. But you have in a world rich with opportunity, I embrace my inner wealth and the abundance all around me. And guess who would do that? The Empress. And guess what the frog sometimes represents? Leaps of faith and also luck. Then you have, okay, the 2 twin Gemini foxes. No, I'm just playing. You have the number 5. You have whispering mist and intuition. I listen to the gentle whispers of the universe, finding wisdom in subtle signs. So you may want to rewatch the video or just expand the video so you can look further into the cards, and I'll spread them out for you because there may be a sign, group 3, within the cards. All right. Maybe a sign. I don't know. Because it's like the Sun and the 10 of Wands, as well as my Queen of Pentacles. They're pointing toward the future. The Empress is the only one in the present. And the 2 of Wands and the 7 of Pentacles, there's something about the past. And I feel this is past efforts. Your past efforts being rewarded. And in the past, maybe seeing the world as your oyster. So in the present, picking up this new project, this business, this idea, this relationship, this new habit, hobby, whatever it is that you're doing. And in the future, I think somebody really important likes it. Or you expected that and you looking back like, where my shit at? I don't know. whatever it is for you. But I do hope that this helped. And thank you all for watching.